Alright, in this video we're going to find slope between 2 points. Do a couple examples in this video, we'll do a couple of examples in another one, illustrating something else. So the big thing to remember is this right here, the slope formula. Have to remember that y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You have to remember the y's stay on top, x's are on bottom, just like we talked about, rise over run. So you got to remember. So the first example, 3, 4, and negative 1, 6. Now if you want to, we'll label them. This is x1, y1, x2, y2. And it does not matter if you put x1 and y1 over here, and then x2 and y2. It does not matter. If you want to do the arrows that we talked about in class, you can do that as well. So follow the formula. Plug in the numbers in the correct location. You get 6 minus 4 over negative 1 minus 3. So remember where they go. Remember, it's always a subtraction sign. We'll talk about what happens when there's a negative involved in the second number. We should get 2 over negative 4. Now you gotta remember, slope is always in simplest form. So we're not done yet. 1 over 2, the negative. So slope is negative 1 over 2. Alright, so the second example looks like this one. So you have to follow the formula once again. If you need to label it, nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to label it again. x1, y1, x2, y2. Alright, so just follow the formula. 3 minus 5 over negative 2 minus 2. Now remember, you keep the minus. The only way that this changes to a plus is if our second number is negative, but these are not. These are both positive. So you have to look, 3 minus 2, or 3 minus 5 is negative 2. You have to remember the negatives. Negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4. Since we have a negative in both top and bottom, it becomes positive, and 2 over 4 becomes 1 over 2. There we go. Alright, so another example. So we got 2, 8, and negative 2, 8, and 2, 3. So I'm going to move that this one's x1 just to change things up a bit. This is x2, so we can talk about something. So I changed it up and put x1 and y1 on the right point. Remember, like I said, it does not matter which one, you just got to stay consistent. We go 8 minus negative 3, 2 minus 2. Now, here's a case where you have 8 minus negative 3. You can take that negative and change this into a plus sign. So then 8 plus 3 is 11. Now we notice 2 plus 2 is 0. Now if you know anything about anything in math, about fractions, you cannot have a 0. That is a big no. So that means this slope is going to be undefined. That is what we get. That's what happens when x is in the denominator. You can never divide anything by x. So there's one other case that we're going to talk about in our last example. So I'm going to show you a different method that I've seen some students use and find it effective. If you want to write arrows, starting with your first one, go to this. Now you notice my arrows start in the right numbers and go down to the left. So let's follow it. y2 minus y1 over 6 minus 3. So then now, this one is different than the one that we just did. We have a 0, but it is now in the numerator. This is okay. We can have this. 0 over 3 just means it's 0. And you can write the word 0 or the number 0. Either way, with this one, it's on top So it's okay. You can't have it in the bottom though. You can't have 4 out of nothing, but you can have 0 out of 3.